Handheld gaming was once all the rage. In the days of the Game Boy and Sega Game Gear, this momentum for portable gaming carried on all the way up until my own childhood, with the Nintendo DS and PSP. Now the DS was in many ways my first console. I got it for my birthday, and I was kinda late to the party. By the time I got mine, every other kid I knew had had one for many years. But I made up for lost time by basically having it with me everywhere I went. I built up a library which put everyone I knew to shame, and I played that thing like it was going out of style. Though things seemed to hit a wall around the 8th console generation, the 3DS sold well, sure, but it's not a system I look back on fondly. It largely falls into the Nintendo gimmick bracket of untapped potential in the heat of a 3D craze. The PS Vita is looked upon fondly as an undeserved failure, perhaps ahead of its time. But Nintendo hammered in on their hold for the handheld gaming market with the Switch, which came after the failure of the Wii U, but in many ways felt like the Wii U fully realized. A home console handheld hybrid. Calling the Switch too big would be an understatement. Despite being a hybrid system, many saw appeal in the Switch as a current gen gaming on the go system. This started a whole new era for handheld gaming. Again, companies such as Valve took notes. This is the era of portable gaming without compromise. The Steam Deck arrived shortly after with the trump card of essentially just being a portable gaming PC, so if you're even a little invested in the PC gaming space, you'd inherit a backlog off the bat for your system, and that's actually what inspired this video. I had been pondering on the Steam Deck lightly ever since its launch as a way to help me maintain my PC gaming backlog, which recently became my primary gaming ecosystem as I've largely opted to go all digital. But there was some hesitation in the sheer mystery of the Switch 2, so I channeled my inner patient gamer and waited. The Switch 2 reveal arrived and I was unfazed. Of course, for Nintendo fans who have already been plugged into the OG Switch for years and built up a library and whatnot, this was probably a lot more enticing, but as a mere investment for me, a lot of this rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not gonna pretend to care about the game keycard situation. As I said before, I'm all digital for the most part these days anyway. But what did and has always been quite off-putting about the Nintendo ecosystem is the pricing and value of first-party games. I will never celebrate a Nintendo game launching for damn near 100 bones, but that's not the real crime here. The real thing that icks me most is knowing it will still be the same exact price a decade from now, because that's Nintendo. On the flip side, ignoring the allure of exclusive games like Mario and Pokemon, the ecosystem on an alternative handheld gaming device provides an ocean of affordability in gaming that is Steam. The Steam library is a melting pot of PC, Xbox, and PlayStation games from every console generation. In the realm of I have something you don't, Switch versus Steam Deck, titles like Marvel's Spider-Man or Halo are just as much exclusives as Donkey Kong and Splatoon. Many would even plead the fact that through emulation, the Steam Deck is in many ways the ultimate Nintendo device. Wii games, DS games, and even Switch games, but I'm not gonna make that case. Power was an edge the Steam Deck once had, which will now likely go to the Switch too, but raw power, as we know from previous console generations, is largely irrelevant. Power without games is useless. A Switch port often meant the worst version of any given title. The Steam Deck was never the ideal place to play modern AAA titles, but at least it could run modern AAA titles. Cyberpunk running on the Switch 2 is less a point gained and more a point leveled, if you know what I mean. So obviously there is a personal preference factor of critically acclaimed Nintendo games for 100 bones a piece versus an avalanche of future choice paralysis and bang for your buck Steam sales. I own nearly 100 games on Steam as of right now, rookie numbers I know, but what's more shocking is how little I've spent on the collection as a whole. The most money I've ever spent on a game on Steam was £25 for Marvel's Spider-Man. Shout out to CD Keys, by the way. On a games front, I'm already quite invested in Steam, and the thought of working through that backlog more efficiently through a handheld gaming device is way more appealing than jumping back into the Nintendo gaming ecosystem after many years divorced from it. The games they showed off looked cool, but not enough to justify the forever price tag for me. I'm looking at this new Mario Kart title and the long-awaited Metroid 4, both IP I'm not well versed in, but on the surface alone I peer over to some of the upcoming equivalent titles such as the new Sonic Racer or Doom the Dark Ages, and I can't help but feel like Nintendo fans are at a handicap. This stuff looks cool, but outside of the badge that is Nintendo first party, like to say in a world where these are both multi-platform titles, I don't think I'd be in a rush to play either. Nintendo kinda operates like Apple in that way. So much of the appeal seems to be who's making the product over the product itself. Take it with a grain of salt though, I won't present experience where there is none. Maybe these are some of the best games ever made, I honestly wouldn't know. But an overpriced system, overpriced games, paying for online play, basically getting second-class treatment in the subscription and voice chat department, plus the general lack of value proposition only pushed me away from the Switch 2, where all these same exact things plus the, in my view, superior games library pulled me towards the Steam Deck. Now, I've had my Steam Deck for over a month now, and the feeling feeling is not too dissimilar to those early DSi days for me. I pretty much bring it with me everywhere I go, whether it's just a quick LEGO 2K race on the train to work in the morning, or just some incentive to walk to the park, sit on a bench and game for a bit, then keep it moving. The backlog clearance on this thing has been phenomenal. I'm already on the verge of crossing 3 games off my completed list, and because of the nature of a portable gaming device, I find myself playing a distinct type of game I maybe wouldn't get in the right headspace to check out from the comfort of my own bedroom. Now, this stuff is universal, whether you're gaming on deck or Switch or anything, but handheld gaming is definitely in its prime, and weirdly, it's because these systems are not bound by the limitations of explicitly being portable gaming devices. No game on Steam is truly made with the Steam Deck in mind, it's just games. Being portable is an option you have thanks to things like the Steam Deck, but the games are the same ones you'd be playing on your gaming PC anyway. Even with the Switch, being a home console hybrid means titles, to my knowledge, are not developed with portability in mind. Instead, you're just getting good games, docked or undocked. No compromise, just access. Value means so much to me, and having a device that I can bring with me everywhere, the resurgence of a feeling I haven't had since banging out Dragon Quest IX on the bus to school in the morning, is worth its weight in gold. But this has been the Game Burrow. The more you know, I'm gonna take this one with me. I'm gaming on the go.